You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph. Truth Decay, Part 3. Some of you may remember pen pals. They were people usually across the other side of the world who you have never met and probably not likely to meet, but you kept up a relationship with them through letters. You would write, a physical letter with pen and paper. You would go off to the nearest post box and deposit your letter, maybe containing a photo, to your pen pal. And your letter would make its way across the world, let's say from New Zealand to the UK, and take maybe, 6 weeks, 2 months to get there. And you would eagerly await near your letterbox for a reply from that person. All that to say that we live in a vastly different world today than we did many decades ago, particularly in the area of communication and awareness of what other people are doing and what their lives are like. You can send an email to someone and it would travel at the speed of 300 million meters a second to get there, which is about half a second to the UK. But communication is greatly enhanced by other forms of media. Television news and reports and forums. Social media is epidemic in our world. Podcasting like this one. I can create this and get this out to you in a very short time. Now, while there is this massively positive side to these forms of communication and awareness, for example, the spread of the gospel of Jesus Christ is greatly enhanced via technology and the internet. There is also an incredibly dark side to this. Humankind are now greatly vulnerable to every ideology and agenda and whim that would try to push itself, because these things are sweeping across our globe more and more as the days go by. I grew up in a world where you would watch, for example, the television news and you would largely believe what you heard and saw. But now, according to surveys, trust in the media and the news is at an all-time low. Google it yourself to find the surveys on this. And the problem is that truth itself is being smothered and drowned by these ideologies and half-truths, and often lies. This is because news and information can be filtered so that the picture presented is a long way from the actual real picture. Now, this is not necessarily a new trait amongst mankind, but it has in recent decades been enhanced. G.K. Chesterton said this: "We shall soon be in a world in which a man may be held down for saying that 2 and 2 make 4, in which people will persecute the heresy of calling a triangle a 3-sided figure, and hang a man for maddening a mob with the news that grass is green." Winston Churchill said, "A lie gets halfway round the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on." In 2015, a survey was conducted amongst journalists to ask what was their most important roles or tasks. They conducted the very same survey just recently in our country, and 2 things appeared in the recent survey that weren't there in 2015. Firstly, journalists believed that their role was to educate people. Secondly, they believed that their role was to correct disinformation. My question is, who decides what is disinformation or wrong thinking? Now, my intention in this podcast is not to attack journalists, because there are many good ones out there, but what I am saying is there's been a shift globally from just reporting the news, the facts, the truth, and genuine inquiry to opinions that can be driven by background ideologies. Thank goodness for this thing called fact-checking. So when we return to this question over the last few episodes of what is truth, This small quote from Jonathan Edwards is helpful. Truth is the agreement of our ideas with the ideas of God. And as we said, people can run from the truth or deny it or even suppress it, as Scripture says, because it means they may have to change. And in Romans chapter 1 verse 25, we'll finish with this verse. It says, they exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and worshipped and served created things rather than the Creator, who is forever praised. God bless you today.